Hello guys, welcome back to my channel Simply Conceptual. My name is Vaishnavi and I hope you all are doing well. So as you have seen the thumbnail, in today's video we are going to discuss the study of artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, as well as generative AI and the hottest and latest topic in AI field, that is agentic AI. Now we can also call it as AI agents. And I thought before diving into the actual mathematics and ML concepts, I should make it clear to all of you that what are these topics and what is the key difference between them, so that you won't get confused and you will have the idea of what are the latest trends going on in this field. Okay, so let's dive right in.
So yes guys, today our agenda is to compare and study machine learning, deep learning, agentic AI and Gen AI. So you have heard the terms ML, Gen AI, but you haven't heard the term agentic AI, I guess so, because agentic AI is new talk of the town nowadays. Okay, so we will compare that with all these models. So yes, and we will understand basically the AI evolution. AI evolution is basically how we moved from machine learning to deep learning to agentic AI, from Gen AI. Okay, this is what AI evolution means, and we will learn the technology with the help of an analogy. Obviously, that is the main goal of our channel. So let's get started. So first we will analyze the whole AI universe. Okay, so in AI universe, there comes a superset, that is the system that we can say artificial intelligence. So what is artificial intelligence basically? So artificial intelligence is intelligence created artificially, if we can go literally. Okay, so artificial intelligence is intelligence created by man, a human, like intelligence created by human, that depicts intelligence of human. Okay, so intelligence basically means, the word intelligence means how a human can do a task, a particular task. So we humans are trying to get the things done by a machine or artificially, by incorporating our intelligence, a type of our intelligence, in the particular machine. So that is what artificial intelligence is. So in artificial intelligence, there are various topics like cognitive computing, AI ethics, speech recognition, knowledge representation, planning and scheduling, natural language processing, computer vision, robotics, automated system, fuzzy logic, etc., etc., etc. Okay, so this is what artificial intelligence is. Now, artificial intelligence is a big picture. Okay, that is a superset of the all these systems. That is basically a whole system in itself only. Now comes to the next level, that is machine learning. That is a subset of artificial intelligence. Basically, if we go by the literal meaning of machine learning, then it basically says that making a machine learn. That is what machine learning is. And if you haven't seen my video yet uh, on machine learning, you can see that on my channel, that I have already created one machine learning video, in which I have explained you the basic meaning and the basic terms we come up across in machine learning. So you can check it out there. And in machine learning also, basically, I will tell you here only, basically we don't explicitly program, like not that traditional programming thing we do it here. We actually just make the machine learn that these kind of emails are spam emails and these kind of emails are ham emails. Okay, so that is the point in machine learning, that we don't have to manually go and write there that these type of words are actually what depicts email spam or ham. So that is the advantage in machine learning, that we will reduce the time of coding, the time of programming, and then it will actually improve our efficiency. So that is what machine learning is. Now we can study, we will be studying various type of algorithms in machine learning, that is feature engineering, ensemble learning, then random forest, then dimensionality reduction, semi supervised learning, unsupervised learning, and many more. So this is what machine learning is. Now come to the next step, that is neural networks. So what neural networks is? Basically neural networks is network of neurons. Now what are neurons? Neurons are the basic unit in brain. So it actually sends and receive the signal to us, for us to actually perform a specific task. Like for example, I'm just making a five, like I'm showing that I have 5 fingers. Then my brain is actually sending the signal through the neurons, through the network of neurons, and that I have to show these 5 fingers to actually make the front person analyze that I have 5 fingers. Okay, this is what actually neurons and the signals does. So neural networks is basically the network of neurons, and in machine learning, we call the smallest unit perceptron. Like in human biology, we call the smallest unit of the brain as neuron, and in neural networks, we call the smallest unit as perceptrons. So in neural networks, there is actually an architecture like we have input layer where we give input, where we feed input. Then we have 1 to 2 layers, hidden layers, where actually processing is going on, and then we will move on to the last layer, that is output layer, where we can get our output. So that is what neural network means, like actually. Now, in neural networks, we have CNNs, LSTMs, generative adversarial networks. Then we have multilayer perceptron, propagation, activation functions, recurrent neural networks, and self-organizing maps. Okay, these kinds of things we have in neural networks. So yes, let's come to the deep learning. Now, what is the main key difference between deep learning and neural networks? Deep learning is basically a neural network. There's no such a thing that deep learning is something out of the universe. Deep learning is basically a neural network, but deep learning handles very complex kind of data that a simple neural network cannot. It just cannot do, because it don't have that much complex layers and layers hidden between the input and output layer. So that work deep learning does, because it can handle it has the capability to handle the large amount of data set and also the complex data set. So that is what basically deep learning is. And in deep learning, there are very similar kind of things we have to study, that is deep neural networks, that is deep convolutional neural networks, then capsule networks, transfer learning, GANs, and transformers. That's it. So that is what deep learning is. Now come to the last cycle, that is generative AI. Now, what is generative AI? Generative AI is basically an AI that generates data. So, in generative AI, we have large language modules, then transformer architecture, then we have transfer learning, self-attention mechanism, natural language processing, and some algorithms like BERT and all. So this is basically algorithm, not exactly algorithm, we can say it as architecture of or network. So that is what um, basic generative AI idea is. So I hope you understand. You understood this whole universe. Now let's get into the specific parts. So let's start with an analogy or scenario. Let's say that a chef, a beginner chef, is trying to learn a recipe. Okay, is trying to make a recipe, for example, a lemon pie cake or something, from actually reading the recipe book. So step by step, it will read all the steps how to make it, and then he will follow these steps and make the and make the dish. So this is how a machine learns in technical way, like in sorry, in analogical way, like I have explained it in, like from the example of chef. In technical way, it actually gets the data from the user, and then it recognizes the pattern, and then it builds the predictions around it. So it is basically learning from the data it is getting. So here the data is recipe book in this analogy, in this particular analogy, and the beginner chef is a machine which is learning how to cook. So this is what machine learning analogy is. I hope you got the point, and let's move. Now there comes deep learning. So what deep learning is, I have told you earlier that there are numerous layers in deep learning. Like there are not two or three layers, hidden layers in between input and output layer. There are too many layers in between those. So that is what basically deep learning is. Now in deep learning we have CNNs and RNNs. Now what CNNs does, CNNs are convolutional neural network that basically does image classification, and RNNs are recurrent neural networks, and RNNs basically does sequential, sequential logic. It actually follows that. And for example, you can understand RNNs by one example that I will tell you. Suppose you are going to watch a movie. Okay, if you have watched the movie like first half, the second half of the movie, but you haven't watched the first half of the movie, then you will not be able to connect. Like your brain will not be able to connect the whole story. Like it won't understand what is happening in the second part, because of you haven't studied, you haven't watched the first part of the movie. So that's why your brain is not analyzing what is going on here. You are just watching it, and that's it. That is what there is like RNN comes in the picture. That is when RNN comes in the picture. RNN basically does the all the sequential things, like this has to come after this, then this has to come after this. So this is how a story builds, like from the starting it builds up. So there we use RNNs. Now come to the transformers. So transformers are basically used to transform, transform from one phase to another phase. Now transformers are basically used to create Gen AI applications, Gen AI chatbots like ChatGPT and DeepSeek. So yeah, I hope you got the point. And in deep learning with analogy, I can explain, like a beginner chef is like a machine, a machine learning, right? Now what is deep learning? A chef is being experienced. Okay, chef has been experienced, like he has tried the recipe, the same recipe, 2 or 3 times, that he you know got trained like a human brain, like doing the things uh, repeatedly. His brain is trained to do the same thing. Now he's into the next step, that he's actually improvising the given recipe, like he's adding something new, ingredient, or making something new thing. Like for example, we were making the lemon pie. He will actually shift some ingredients, and he will make something new, like not exactly new, he will improvise it. Like say the same ingredients used, like the same data used, but just we have improvised it, making it more humanized. So this is what deep learning is. I hope you got the deep learning point. Okay, now comes the major transition part in this journey, that is generative AI or Gen AI. Now, I am pretty sure that you all have heard about ChatGPT and DeepSeek. DeepSeek is nowadays a talk of the town and it has been a massive success for China. Now, it is basically generative AI application. Okay, it is basically a chatbot where we can actually, you know what we can do there, like reasoning and we can do reasoning, and it is DeepSeek is basically trained on reinforcement learning model. So it is very good because it can improvise itself only, so that is a good thing. Now come to the generative AI part. So if we want to learn the architecture of generative AI, there are two parts basically. So first is GANs, that is generative adversarial networks, and the second is transformers. Now let's first see what are GANs. GANs are basically generative adversarial networks, in which there are two neural networks, that is first is generator and second is discriminator. Now how these works, now suppose generator generates an image. Now discriminator will check whether the image is fake or real. If the image is real, then it will give it as output to the user. Okay, but if the image is not real, then it will tell the generator that, hey, this image is not real. Okay, you have to generate and fine tune yourself. You have to generate something realistic, more realistic, and you have to fine tune yourself. Fine tune means you have to improve yourself. In layman language, you have to improve yourself. That discriminator tells generator. Now these loop goes on until we get a desired output, like the output we want. So this is what GANs are. This is how GANs work. This is how the architecture of GAN is. Now comes the second part of the architecture of generative AI, that is transformers. Now transformers also has two parts again, that is decoder, encoder, and the second part will only have decoder. Now first part is encoder, decoder. Now firstly we will understand what is encoder. For example, you have a translator. Okay, you want to translate a English phrase into French one. Now you will actually give that one English phrase to the encoder, and encoder will break it down into tokens means basically a single words. Okay, and then it will try to analyze the connection between the next word and the previous word it has. Now the connection has set up, then it will extract the summary from the given phrase. Okay, what it is trying to say. So this is what encoder does. Now the encoder actually performs a self attention mechanism. What is self attention mechanism? As I have told you now only, that it finds the connection of next token to the previous token. So this is what self attention is. Like, I am talking to you, that I have the sense and the attention that what the previous word I am speaking is completely relevant to the other word, that other word that I am going to speak. So that is what encoder, that is what self attention mechanism is. Okay, so self attention mechanism we use in this encoder thing, and then it actually extracts the whole summary. So this is what encoder does. Okay, now comes here the part of decoder. Now what decoder does is, it takes the input from the encoder, that abstracted summary, and then it will find the equivalent French words to the specific word, to the specific summary that encoder has given to the decoder. And now here also there is self attention mechanism, that in French how the next letter will be, the next word will be relevant to the previous word. So this is what decoder does, and then we will get the final output of the translation of that phrase, English phrase to French phrase. So this is what transformer does. Okay, I hope you got the architectural understanding of the transformers and also generative AI. So now let's move on to the next part. Hey, now it is the time to talk the talk of the town, that is agentic AI. Now, yes. Now, what is agentic AI? Now, agentic AI is basically an autonomous system. See, you are seeing that we were at ML. Okay, we were at ML years ago. Now we are trying to humanize it. Okay, we are trying to humanize it and making it autonomous, while interfering into it very minimal. Like we used to give data, like data was the must part, like now also data is the must part to give, but the amount of data we give to some agentic AI, that is way less than we used to give to ML. So this is what it does, that agentic AI is basically an autonomous system. Okay, it has systems to do specific work in which we use ML and DL algorithms, and combinedly it is doing a specific it is doing a specific work and achieving the goal that we as a human has told to do, an agent, an AI agent. So, for example, if I want my YouTube channel, for this video particularly, want to hit the likes, number of likes as 100. So, if I had an AI agent, I would have given a specific prompt that make the number of likes on this video as 100. Now it will take the uh, you know basic measures that one used to take the one has to take for getting the likes, for getting 100 likes on the video. Like it will check the past performance, and then it will check the viewers, like what kind of thing is getting the attention of the viewers. So this is all of it that analyzed by an AI agent. So self-driving car is also one of the example of AI agent, and AI agent is basically more personalized. For example, you want to book a ticket to, for example, Singapore. You want to book a ticket, then you can just tell that personalized AI chatbot that, hey, I want to book a ticket. Then it will do all these things for you just in a second, like in no time. So this is what agentic AI is. Okay. So I hope you got the um, basic scenario and basic idea about agentic AI. Now comes the summary part. Okay. Now we have considered a chef analogy for understanding all these concepts, all these study. Okay. Now ML is a beginner chef who follows the recipe and make the dish. Right. DL is an experienced chef who is improvising the dishes that he used to copy. He used to, read from the recipe book and then make. He is now capable to actually improvise the dishes. Now comes to Gen AI. Gen AI is basically a master chef who creates new dishes. Okay, deep learning was not able to do that, but Gen AI does. Gen AI is able to do that specific thing, that it will create new recipes. Now come to agentic AI. Now what agentic AI does is an executive chef running a dynamic kitchen. So it will do all the things, like it will also create new recipes, and it will be getting feedbacks from the customers, and it will be fine tuning itself and run autonomously without having a very minimum human interference. Right, this is what agentic AI is. So I hope you got the whole summary, and I hope I was able to clear all the doubts about the basic concepts you need to know about the comparative study between MLDL, Gen AI and Agentic AI. Now, yeah, lastly, thank you. Thank you for watching the video till the end. And if you like the video, please like, share and subscribe to my channel and the video as well. And I will come up with one more video about machine learning. Till then, stay tuned.